Hello, my name is Gary Weston, and with me is Arlo and Gary.
Hello.
And you're listening to Arlo and Gary on 98.9 KKKY, number 3 in music in Austin, Texas. We have a lovely Friday show today, do we not?
Oh, yes, we do.
So, if there are anyone joining us, is there anything they should know if they are new to the program?
Not really. It's just Friday again.
Yes, but we're starting our webisodes or the podcasts. They're on the internet. Isn't that right, Arlo?
Yeah. We're gonna start putting these up on the internet. See if people might be interested. Downloading to their iPod or whatever.
Yes, that's right. You can bring us anywhere with you. Now, if you are new to the program, I'll tell you about myself. I am Gary Weston. I am one of the 8 British people in Texas. That's a made-up statistic, but it's probably not far off. I love it here. Everything's bigger in Texas. Generally true. I mainly just love it because I am considered exotic. Back in London, nobody liked me, but here I'm like a ostrich with great plumage or whatever. The feathers, Arlo, plumage, the feather.
Right, there's the feathers on the bird.
Yes, and I have bright feathers because I'm British. Everyone's like, ooh, look at him. I've had people want to take their picture with me. I sound British. I don't even look that British. So a picture doesn't really make sense, but they did it anyway. And so that's where we are. Again, this is KKKY, Austin's number 3 music leader. We thank you for joining us this Friday. We're going to talk about some things that are in the news. Arlo, why don't you start us off?
All right. New Batman movie's out, and I went and saw it. And
now that's the movie with a man who thinks he's a bat, right? He thinks it's the struggle of human condition, trying to discover, am I a bat or am I a person?
No, he just dresses like a bat so he could fight people.
Because people are scared of things when they're not sure if they're human, right? It's kind of like Wolfman, except instead of a wolf, it's a bat. He's half bat, half human. This kind of creature, and crime is, oh my God, I don't know what kind of creature he is. Do I shoot him? Is he a vampire? So that's I think that's the main thing he's going for. There are vampire bats. Vampires are big in film, so you got this guy. They said, let's make a movie. He's like a vampire in every way, except instead of a vampire, he's a bat, and he's a man. Because vampires usually are men, but now it's a man-bat. Man-bat vampire, right?
No, he just uses it as a costume to kind of disguise who he is and his identity. He doesn't want to get caught and have people attack his family.
Right, because they think he's a freak of nature. Because he's half vampire, half bat, and half human. Right?
Well, no, he's going out to fight crime, and the villain in this film is a man named Bane. He wears a mask.
Is he half creature of some kind?
No, none of them are. It's not really science fiction. It's superhero, but they don't really have superpowers. They're just kind of fighting and crime and stuff. Anyway, the movie's pretty good. I've heard good things. It was a little long, but I guess it's got a good payoff.
Now, in the beginning, do they reveal he's half bat creature, or is that kind of slipped out later in the film?
No, that's not the film at all. I've been trying to tell you. The people at home can just see it. I'm sure they'll understand. They can follow what's going on. I think you're confusing it, Gary, with something entirely different. I don't know, but it certainly seems like you really have no idea what Batman. There's been 2 other ones. I mean, there's been 6 other ones, but 2 of them by the same director. They really laid out the story, so how you're this lost is kind of beyond me, but it's really, there's no creatures. There's no half-bat. There's no vampires. It's just crime and a Batman, but he's just dressed as a bat.
Like a disguise. So his enemies think he's half-bat, but in reality, he's only disguised as half-bat.
No, I don't think anyone thinks he's half-bat. I think it's kind of like a metaphor or something. He's just trying to disguise himself. No one actually thinks he's a bat. I don't think that's really what he's going for. If you're going to disguise yourself, try and fool people into you being an animal, I don't think you'd pick an animal who's vastly different size than a person. I've never heard of a 6-foot tall bat. Like, if he was trying to fool people that he was an animal, I guess he'd be a bear or something. But, yeah, that's me and Gary's review. I don't think Gary's seen it, but I saw it. I give it 3.5 out of 4 stars. Enjoyable film.
Yes, I haven't seen it, but from what I've heard, this kind of sci-fi creature vampire, it seems to span all genres. I think I'll give it a 4 out of 4, prematurely. It could subject to change if I see it, and it's not what I think, but it sounds quite promising. 4 out of 4.
Alright, we're going to take a commercial break now, come back and talk about a few other things that are going on. Thank you for listening to KKKY, Austin, Texas, number 3 music leader.
Keep playing the music.
98.9 KKKY, Austin, Texas, number 3. Austin,
Texas.
number 3 in music. Wow.
Number 3 in music.
So coming up now is the Olympics. It takes place in London, and I figure, Gary, since you're from London, well, you could tell us a few things about the place. What do you know about London? And maybe it's its culture, or really anything about your place of birth. Just be good to know.
Right, the Olympics are coming to London. It'll be a great occasion. If you're coming to London, there are some things you should know, cultural things. The first one is tourists to London will frequently be given a Bessie's bonnet. Now, a Bessie's bonnet is this hat. It's a rich cultural backstory. Let me explain. Bessie Victoria III, the Queen of Lithuania. It's an old, obscure country. Export primarily beans and, beans and coffee beans, but, 2 types of beans at least. it was mainly like, I guess there might have been 3. There were pinto beans, there were black beans, but I grouped those together as just beans, and then I put coffee beans as separate, because people don't eat coffee beans like other beans, They're coffee. Really, it should just be beans and coffee, but not coffee beans as this anyway. So that was the primary expert. The Queen, Bessie Victoria, she came, I believe the 3rd, she came and visited England, one of the first visitors to England from an obscure country. And we had a king, Richard the 4th, I believe, and he introduced a new custom, where the Queen Bessie Victoria was murdered. Richard was kind of an irritable man. He was kind of irritable and difficult, and England took over the country soon after. Bessie really didn't see it coming. It was pretty quick. But anyway, so the ritual started there, though, because after she was beheaded, she still had her bonnet on, and because your head, it comes off with the hat still on. So Bessie's bonnet became a kind of ritual, because that very bonnet was then removed from the head already having been removed from the body. And when future royalty came to England, they were, as kind of an inside joke, given Bessie's bonnet to wear on their head. They say, "Oh, it's a great honor, wear Bessie's bonnet," when really the king was just saying, "Oh, I could behead you too, but you don't know that that's what I'm, alluding to right now." So they would wear Bessie's bonnet, unknowingly admitting their vulnerability to decapitation. But with time, most of these things that start with beheadings, most beheading things turn into, tourist rituals. So now gift shops will sell a Bessie's bonnet to anyone who comes by, and even people who know the backstory will sometimes get a Bessie's bonnet. They're not saying they actually want to be beheaded, but they're saying, "Ha ha, I'm wearing a bonnet that alludes to Bessie Victoria being beheaded." So if you're in London for the games, get a Bessie's bonnet. You can tell people the story. It's hilarious. It's totally true. I didn't make any of it up. So just go there. I'm sure you can find. They might not call them Bessie's bonnets, but that's what they are. If you just go to a bonnet shop, I'm sure any bonnet there will be a Bessie's bonnet. Just go there. It's a great, hilarious story, not made up just to kill time. It's great. Anyway, what else? Olympics. Do you have anything, Arlo, to say about the Olympics?
I don't much. I actually am a fan of Winter Olympics. Texas, don't see much winter time. So when they have the Winter Olympics, it's more interesting to watch. There's that game where they got the guys with brooms that's curling. I like that. That's fun to watch. The American guy was named Schuster a few years back, I think. Well, I guess I like that. Don't really know much more. Olympics is alright. Sometimes I wonder if they're training for the Olympics Do you peak sometime? Because there's got to be people, presumably there's like 1 or 2 years where you're at the prime of your life, but the Olympics only happens every 4 years. So I wonder if some people just peak right in the middle between 2 Olympics, and like they're not going to do the Winter Olympics if you're like, beach volleyball. So you gotta get the nearest Olympics to your peak. But if your peak's right in the middle, you're just kind of out of luck. And that has nothing to do with your athletic ability. It's just when you were born. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my thought about the Olympics. Yeah.
Right, that's great. Great job, Arlo. So the Olympics. Lots of fun in the sun, right? What else? I think we will take another break. Just station identification. What a fun phrase to say. Be right back.
98.9 KKKY. Yay!
Alright, we're back. We're wrapping up the session, our first online session, with our Words of Wisdom segment. I'm drawing a blank right now. Arlo, do you have anything for our online listeners with our Words of Wisdom?
Yeah, I don't really have words of wisdom right now, but I guess if you're listening on the computer or the iPod, you gotta don't want it too loud because you might hurt your ears. I don't know if that counts as words of wisdom, but people always say don't have your stuff on too loud, but there's really no way to know if it's too loud. Just kind of guessing. I guess err on the side of caution that's my words of wisdom. Err on the side of caution when dealing with how loud your things are, because you may think they're not too loud, but they may actually be too loud, and you just don't know what too loud is, That's it for me. Gary, do you have anything to wrap us up?
My words of wisdom would be, I guess if you're going out and it's raining, bring an umbrella. I really don't have any words of wisdom this week. I'm sorry. I think I'm going to start planning my words of wisdom in advance instead of just trying to make it up on the spot. But anyway, thank you for listening. This has been Arlo and Gary. That is Arlo Devine. I am Gary Weston. Thank you for listening to us on KKKY, Austin, Texas, number 3 in music. So from me and Arlo, good evening, good night, and goodbye.